I welcome students for our talk on hydrates of p block elements. In p block we have a 13th group boron aluminum family. They make hydrates of formula MH3. In fact, BH3 boron is not there, B2H6 diboron exists. And the boron makes a large number of borons of formula BnHn plus 4, example B2H6, B4 H8, B5 H9, so on. And you can also have borons of formula BnHn plus 6, B4H10. So many borons are there. All they are obtained by heating B2H6 diboron in a sealed container in the absence of air. But we will not worry about that. Borons are many in number. And all others make hydrates of formula MH3, though aluminum hydride is polymeric in nature sometimes, at least at low temperatures. Also, the 13th group elements can make hydride anions like LiAlH4, NaBH4, where the BH3 is taking extra H minus to become BH4 minus, that is combined in combination with Li plus, Na plus, NaBH4, sodium borohydride, LiAlH4, lithium aluminum hydride. These hydride anions are really powerful reducing agents used widely in organic chemistry. Anyway, in 14th group we have hydrates of formula MH4. The carbon can make a large number of hydrides like CnH2n plus 2 alkanes, CnH2n alkenes, CnH2n minus 2 alkynes, so on. The silicon can make many silanes like SiN H2n plus 2, where N can be 2 to 10. Due to lower SI-SI bond strength, poor catenation of silicon when compared with carbon, silanes are less in number. Moreover, the alkanes which we call as CnH2n plus 2, the N can be in hundreds, thousands and millions. This is due to the high CC bond strength or high catenation ability of carbon. The SI-SI bond in silanes is actually weakened by SiH bond because hydrogen is more electronegative than silicon. The CC bond is not weakened by CH bond because hydrogen is less electronegative than carbon. Therefore, alkanes are in large numbers available, alkenes are available, alkynes are available. All this is possible because carbon can make double bonds with itself, even triple bond with itself. Silicon is lacking that ability. So, the number of silanes are less. Others are there like MH4. 15th group, they make hydrates of formula MH3. Of course, nitrogen can make some more hydrates like N2H4 hydrazine, N3H hydrazoic acid. And the hydrates generally are of formula MH3. 16th group, they make hydrates of formula H2X, H2O, H2S, H2Se, H2Te, though the sulfur can make more number of hydrides like H2SN. N can be 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, sulfur has a little higher catenation ability. The 17th group elements make hydrates of formula HX. Amongst all these hydrides, some general trend I can say that down the group, whether you are going 13th group, 14th group, 15th group, 16th group, 17th group, down the group hydrates, thermal stabilities decrease and ease of formation, how easily I can make hydride, ease of formation decreases. It means it is easier to make methane, it is very difficult to make PbH4. It is easy to make H2O, it is difficult to make H2PO. It is easy to make HF, it is difficult to make HI, so on. Ease of formation decreases. Basic strength, if the hydride is a base, say ammonia is a base, the basic strength of hydrides, say in 15th group, that decreases down. Basic strength of hydrides in any group down the group decreases. The water solubility also decreases down a group. Also in hydrides the bond angles decrease. So the properties that are decreasing we have listed. Also, some properties are increasing down the group of hydrates. The acidic strength of hydrates increase. For example, HF is a weak acid, whereas HA is a very powerful acid. The MH bond length, naturally as the central atom size is increasing down a group, the MH bond length also increases. The covalent nature of hydrides definitely increase down a group, and their ability to act as reducing agents increases down a group. The properties like melting points and boiling points show some irregularity. To be more specific, in the family, say 14th group, CH4, SaH4, GeH4, technically their melting boiling points are increasing down the group in 14th group, because as you are coming down, the molar mass increases. As molar mass is increasing, the van der Waals attractions are increasing between molecules, as the melting boiling points smoothly increase. However, it is not true in the case of 15, 16, 17 groups, because the first member has a unique property called hydrogen bonding. Due to hydrogen bonding between the ammonia molecules, between the water molecules, between the HF molecules, the first hydrate has unusually higher boiling point. The boiling point of H2O is highest, and then the boiling point increases down the hydrates as the molar mass increases. So, I can say the boiling point in hydrates of 16th group, H2O is greater than H2PO is greater than H2TE is greater than H2SC is greater than H2S. Similarly, in 17th group, the HF has unusually high boiling point due to hydrogen bonding. If you forget about HF, for others as molar mass increases, boiling points increase. So, the order appears to be HF is greater than HA is greater than HBr is greater than HCl for boiling point. In ammonia, in 15th group, the hydrates boiling points and melting points show a kind of irregularity. Reason, hydrogen bonding in ammonia is there, but it is not so strong. The van der Waals attraction between BiH3 molecules is definitely more than the hydrogen bond strength in ammonia. Therefore, there is a kind of irregularity, as you see. The melting points vary, like ammonia is greater than SbH3 is greater than ASH3 is greater than PH3. Data is not available about melting point of BiH3. So, as far as melting point is concerned, ammonia is highest. But when you are looking at boiling point, in liquid state hydrogen bond strength in ammonia is really less. Therefore, BiH3 has a higher boiling point than SbH3. SbH3 has higher boiling point than ammonia, which is more than ASH3, which is more than PH3. PH3 is least. So, this is a variation. Now, this is a quick talk on the hydrates general characters. Now, we will have to examine the special cases of boron hydrates. The boron hydrate, especially we are looking at B2H6. How to make B2H6 is of some interest. I would say that here B2H6 can be prepared by the reaction of, I would say B2H6 can be prepared by the reaction of, let me take a paper. I can prepare B2H6 by reacting BF3 boron trifluoride, which is readily available. You can react it with the reducing agent like lithium aluminum hydride. You can react it with sodium borohydride. You can react with sodium hydride. Whenever you react BF3 with any of these, you will be getting B2H6. Along with B2H6, in this case you get LiF and AlF3. In this case you get NaF. In this case you get NaF along with HF. So, you have to write the balance equation and check yourself. Simply here I would say boron trifluoride or boron trichloride reacts with any of these to give diboron. Also, I would say the best method you can try, take sodium borohydride NaBH4, react with iodine, you end up with B2H6. Along with others like sodium iodide, right? You try to write the valence equation yourself, check up your textbook. So, these are certain methods to prepare diboron. What is the best method industrially? What is the laboratory method? You try to investigate. Here my job is to speak very briefly and quickly about the specialty of diboron. the diborane B2H6 is stable in air as long as there is no grease or moisture. If there is grease or moisture, the hydrates of boron catch fire. If the hydrate is catching fire, it is called pyrophoric. Even the PH3 can catch fire if it is heated. As you are going down the group, the tendency to decompose increases in any group. So, B2H6 is pyrophoric, it catches fire if there is moisture or grease. The B2H6 when burnt in air gives boron oxide B2O3 and water. When the diborane reacts with chlorine, you get B2H5Cl and HCl. Only in these two reactions you would see hydrogen is not a product. But when the diborane reacts with water, you will be getting boric acid H3BO3 and hydrogen 6 moles. Can you write the balanced equation? When the diborane reacts with ammonia, 3 moles of diborane can react with ammonia to give B2H6 to ammonia, diammoniate of diborane. And this fellow on heating gives something B3N3H6 and a dirty dozen moles of hydrogen. So, at the end of the day, when you heat a diborane with ammonia, you get hydrogen as one of the products along with borazole. This B3N3H6 is similar to a popular organic compound called benzene, which has a formula C6H6. If you count the number of electrons in C6H6 and B3N3H6, both are same. I say both are isoelectronic, isostructural, hence it is sometimes called inorganic benzene. And now, when the diborane is made to react with KOH, again it gives potassium metaborate and hydrogen. Try to write the balanced equation yourself. And when diborane is reacting with itself, when you heat it in the absence of air, it is giving higher boranes. The diborane is interesting in the sense that the diborane appears to have less electrons than required for the bonding. How do we know about this? We will talk very briefly on this subject. Sir, if you take any open chain compound which is not having a cyclic structure like CH4, like SF6, like PCl5, anything you can take, C4H10. Whenever you take any open chain compound, it is supposed to have sigma bonds equal to total number of atoms minus 1. That is 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 is equal to 4 sigma bonds are there in CH4. In SF6, total number of atoms 7. 7 minus 1, 6 sigma bonds are there. In PCl5, 6 minus 1, 5 sigma bonds are there. C4H10, 14 minus 1, 13 sigma bonds are there. Whenever a sigma bond is formed, total number of electrons required to make these many bonds is equal to number of bonds into 2. That is the number of electrons required to make sufficient bonds. If you look at, for example, C2H6, it is supposed to have 7 sigma bonds. So, it requires 7 2s or 14 electrons for making bond. The 2 carbons in the valence shell, each carbon has 4 electrons. So, 2 carbons have 2 into 4, 8 electrons. 6 hydrogens have 6 into 1, 6 electrons. So, it has enough number of electrons to make 7 sigma bonds. Now, based on this logic, if I am looking at B2H6, B2H6 should have 8 minus 1, 7 sigma bonds. Let us check whether it has sufficient electrons. 2 borons in their valence shell have 2 into 3, 6 electrons. 6 hydrogens have 6 into 1, 6 electrons. Total they have 12 electrons. But to make 7 sigma bonds, I require 14 electrons. All these molecules which have less number of electrons than required to make sufficient number of sigma bonds are said to be electron deficient. Even if you check normally, AlH3, AlCl3, even in these compounds, central atom is making only 3 bonds, so central atom is getting only 6 electrons. In normal sense, in order to get stability, these molecules require 8 electrons on central atom like noble gas. In order to get those 8, if there is any donor like ammonia, any donor is there which has a lone pair of electrons on the central atom, it will combine with the donor. Therefore, these are electron pair acceptors as they are electron deficient to 8. Hence, they are called Lewis acids. Even B2H6 diboron is electron deficient. Because the number of electrons are less, what type of bonding is there in diboron became a matter of interest. This diboron is supposed to have a strange type of bonding. Very quickly and briefly we see in diboron each boron undergoes a type of mixing of valence s and p orbitals in order to accommodate bonds. The valence s orbitals of boron combine with valence p orbitals, namely px, py and pz. When all these orbitals are combining, you are getting 4 orbitals are mixing to give 4 hybrid orbitals. Normally atoms have pure orbitals, atomic orbitals. When they intermix, in order to make strong bonds, they give hybrid orbitals. So, the hybrid orbitals formed in boron appears to be like this. They are called sp3 hybrid orbitals. You see, normally pure orbitals, whenever they make bonds, they are not very strong. Whenever hybrid orbitals are making bonds, they are very strong. So, in diboron, each boron undergoes sp3 hybridization. Now, if I look at these sp3 hybrid orbitals, they are 4 in number. I would like to write like this. Another boron also has 4 hybrid orbitals. Though they are tetrahedral, for convenience I am writing like this. Now, this sp3 hybrid orbital, total number of electrons boron has is 3. So, I will write 1, 2, 3, and I would say it is I would write like this 1, 2, 3. Okay, I would write 1, 2, 3. This empty hybrid orbital of boron, this hybrid orbital of another boron has 1 electron, both combine with a hydrogen which has 1 electron. Now, this hydrogen atom is linking a hybrid orbital of one boron having 1 electron and another hybrid orbital of another boron having no electron together. This is lying above the plane, and this hybrid orbital which has 1 electron, this hybrid orbital which has no electron again combine with a hydrogen that has 1 unpaired electron. Therefore, now you got a BHB bond, another BHB bond lying above and below the plane. In the plane of paper, this hybrid orbital combines with a hydrogen, this combines with hydrogen, combines with hydrogen. So, as a result you are getting diboron like this. These bonds are lying above and below the plane of white paper. These are lying on the plane of paper. As a result, you got B2H6. This B2H6, these bonds are normal covalent bonds formed by sharing of electron pair given by 1 electron from boron, 1 electron from hydrogen. Ordinary covalent bonds, the terminal bonds. The central bond is something different called a banana bond. As a result of this, the diboron is non-planar, non-linear molecule, and these are called bridge hydrogens. If you want to replace hydrogens with Cl, you can replace happily the terminal hydrogens, but not the bridging hydrogens. If you want to replace the hydrogen with any other group, something like CH3, we call it as methyl group, you can replace the terminal 4 hydrogens with methyl group, but not the bridging hydrogen. Thus, the borons have interesting structures where they have a kind of banana bonds or bridge bonds, and they are non-planar, non-linear molecules. There is a special note on the structure of diboron. With this, we conclude our discussion on hydrates of p block elements. Thank you very much.